Welcome to First Sundays with Black Poet Laureates, a podcast of the National Black Poet Laureate Society. I am your host, Rhea Carmon, Executive Director of the Society. Each month on the first Sunday, we will celebrate the voices, visions, and verses of Black Poet Laureates across the United States. These are the poets who carry the weight and the honor of their communities, their stories, and who transform the ordinary into extraordinary. These are the poets that remind us that poetry is not just an art form. It's a lifeline, a mirror, and a beacon. The National Black Poet Laureate Society is dedicated to amplifying the work of Black Poet Laureates, fostering community among these poets and poetry lovers, and ensuring the rich tradition of Black poets. There's excellence through this organization, and it continues to thrive as we have more and more Black Poet Laureates joining our ranks. Through our anthology series, which is In the Fullness of the Word, our annual conferences and conversations like the one we're about to have, we will continue to build a living archive of Black Poet Laureate brilliance.
Today, I am honored to be in conversation with the one and only Samuel B. Rain, and he is going to tell us a little bit about himself. So, Samuel, tell us about yourself, where you're a poet laureate, and let's get this party started.
Well, thank you for having me. Yes, I am Port Laureate of Kern County, that is located in California, just 100 miles north of Los Angeles. So you can get your reference in between that point. Been doing this for a while, writing since 2004. So it's been a journey because writing before when high school, college, and everything, and then all of a sudden you have that period where you don't write, and then you pick it up again. And once I picked it up, I challenged myself. I'm like, okay, this is a journey that I'm going to be on. These are the things that I want to accomplish. And I believe that I have accomplished all those things because one of those things was becoming a poet laureate. And the fact that I wasn't the only one, and then to find this organization was a godsend. So I have to thank my friends who were poet laureates that already they told me about this site. I'm like, I'm joining. I'm gonna be a part of this, and this is gonna be something that I can do for years after my poet laureate is over. So I'm excited
Absolutely.
about that. Yeah. So I got a chance to meet, and I want to meet all the poets that are Black Poet Laureates. One day,
I do
whenever
too.
we have our if we have a convention or something or whatever we do, and a bunch of us get together and we put on great shows and that kind of thing like that. So I'm excited about that.
Yes, yes, you and me both. We are trying to do that very first conference here in 2026. So I'm excited to start the planning process for that. And yeah, we're going to have a great time. I think if all of us get into the same place, it's going to be a good time.
Oh, it's going to be good. Yeah, I'm ready. So I'm like, my calendar is open. I'm just waiting for the date. Once I get the date, I'm there. Ticket, all that good stuff. Yeah.
It's yeah, okay. Well, let's see. Uh, I was reading up on you a little bit, and it seems like you stopped writing for some time. And then you came back to it. Tell me a little bit about why you stopped writing and then what brought you back.
It was, I stopped writing, like I was writing in the 80s and
Hmm.
the 90s, and then I stopped writing, and I didn't pick it up the pen again until 2004 because it was a different computer system. First, we had to write, and then if you were doing DOS, it was crazy. So, because I never was a good, I'm going to write my poems down on paper. There's a lot of
Hmm.
paper. I mean, I think I've actually cut down a lot of trees, all the paper I was throwing away. And so, but once I started typing it, and had that great option of using Word, I just picked it up and I wrote for like 10 years before I put out my first book.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I had thousands of poems. And then I called those poems the Passions Private Collection. And that was my first set of poems. In fact, it helped put out my first 6 books was from the Passions Private Collection.
Wow. Okay. So 6 books came from just the 10 years of writing. What's like your process? Were you writing every single day? waiting for inspiration? What did that look like to get to 6 books worth of poetry?
Well, after I wrote my first poem, and then I thought, oh, I could do this. And then I started meeting people, and I had one mentor. She said, you need to write every day. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really get it, but then later on I did get it because it was going to help me get better if I did it every day, and I was going to not be doing the same thing. Like a lot of people, they write and then everything sounds the same. And so that writing every day pushed that sameness out. And then I challenged myself. He said, you always have to challenge yourself, to you write a good poem, and then the next 10 poems are not that good. No, that's why I challenged myself because I want every poem to be that good. So,
Wow.
so I try, and that's what we do
Okay.
as poets, because I think poets write every day. It's different than other writers. They may not write every day. I mean, it could.
Mm-hmm.
I could write a poem in 5 minutes, and it'd be so good that I actually learn it the same day, and then tomorrow I'm reciting it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is commendable. My brain doesn't work that fast.
Yeah, well, I
Um,
mean, it's another thing that in 2004, uh, I didn't actually stop working until 2008. So in 2008, I devoted all my time to writing, and so
wow.
that helped me because that's all I did was write, write, write. No other thing.
That makes sense.
I didn't have to punch in. I had the
Mm-hmm.
kids, but it's like you take the kids to school, then the rest of your day is free until the kids come home.
Mm-hmm.
So I could be writing.
I love that. All right. So, Dark Man Blues.
Oh,
All right. So you are using the Dark Man Blues to like connect poetry to blues.
yes.
Um, Tell us about that connection, but also why it's historically significant to you.
Well, in the beginning, when I was first started writing, all I wrote was love poems. So I was known as the poet who just wrote love poems, and people would say, "That's all you write is love poems." I'm like, "Why not?" And then a few of my friends said that you should write about the conversations we be having, about life and things like that. I'm like, I'm not writing
Mm-hmm.
that because everybody's writing that. And
Mm-hmm.
so that was a challenge. And then in 2015, I penned a book called Imagining Freedom, which I gave away
Mm,
for free if you bought the foreplay series. So if you bought all 4 books, you got that one book for free. And that kicked off the Dark Man Blues series. And so I said,
gotcha.
okay, so I'm going to write this book and it's going to be called Dark Man Blues. But what can I do with it? So I decided to take Dark Man Blues and make it a series. And so,
Mm,
so I wanted to write I picked a number. I said I'm going to write 8 books for Dark Man Blues this series, and I started writing them. And the first year, I wrote 3 books. The first year, because I write 3 books a year, so that was my mission. So it was Dark Man Blues, If It Were Me, Dark Man Blues, The Other Side, and Dark Man Blues, John Bowl. Because I had to tell them. People would say, "Who is Dark Man Blues?" So I had to think of a name. I was thinking of everything. I said, "What's going to be that's going to stick out?" I said, "Well, his name is going to be John Bowl." And so
where did the name come from?
well, it was John Shaft, and so I was like, I'm like, his name gonna be John something. So it turned out to be John Bowl. Yeah,
Okay, okay. I like it. I love it.
yeah,
Ah, wonderful. Okay. Um, so you stopped working, you said in 2008
2008. Yeah,
and went full on, like this is it. This is all I'm gonna do is
yeah,
this poetry thing. I'm dedicating myself to that. And that has been um your living, right?
yes,
Since
it has. Yeah.
2008. Wow. Okay. So for, some poets that are watching, what is that process like? How scary is it? Or was it not scary for you at all? Maybe you're independently wealthy and you're just like, oh no, I just did that.
I would like to think that I'm independently wealthy. No, it's a challenge, because it's like,
Mhm.
am I gonna eat today? I'm gonna pay my bills.
Mhm.
And so fortunately, I had the opportunity because I had a great retirement set up, so I was able to live off of that. And because I had a forced retirement, that helped as well, you know, and then being at home every day, of course, that just said, well, what are you going to do with all this free time?
Mm.
So um, that's why I just started writing. And I'm like, let me get the tools that I need. I went out and bought me a nice computer. In fact, I bought like three computers. And I'm like, I'm going to have all these computers sitting on my desk. And I did. And I was just writing in. And so, what else am I going to do? So, if I start working with other people, then maybe I can make money doing that. You know, so
Hmm.
I started early teaching about writing because I had already put so many years in, and then being able to be a formatter and an editor, that also paid too, you know. So I'm still doing those things where I'm getting paid to
Okay, okay.
edit and teach.
So so it's not just the poetry, but it's everything is in that realm of writing.
Yes, yes, it's
I
you
love that.
know, I have to use all of those tools that you have, you know, about writing. So I went into to say this, like I wasn't just there writing, I was also learning. So I'm reading a lot
Mm,
to learn a lot and reading the things that I need to know how to do and then finding out how to do them, getting
hmm.
trained up so that I could do it well. Because everything that I do, I want to do it well.
Of
And so
course.
I want
Yeah.
to say that I'm the best of this. Like when I made my commitment to start writing in 2004, one of those first goals was to become a poet laureate. Now, it took me 20 years, but it happened, you
Of
know,
course.
and that's just being in the right place at the right time. I also had a goal that I wanted to write 50 books. That has happened. I've done that
You
because
said 50 or
50,
15?
no, 50,
Like
50,
50?
50,
You've
because
written 50 books since 2008.
yes,
That's wild.
yes,
Oh
yes.
my goodness. I really have to improve my work ethic.
So, and then that was one of the missions. So, I mean, I had the mission of, I had another goal of becoming the greatest love poet ever. That was one of my missions. I feel that I have accomplished that because that's all I was writing in the beginning was love poems.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoy writing those. I want to keep them, they're sensual, not erotic. Um,
Good stuff.
yeah, and so that was another one of my missions. It had to be, I had this motto, your grandmother has to be able to read it.
Have
So
you ever thought about recording those audio,
I have,
your
I have,
love poems, since they
have,
are sensual, not erotic?
I have been to the studio. I have done some
Okay.
recordings. I am still working on more recordings so that I can put out my first album. It is going to be so dope because
I believe it.
oh yeah, so no, that's another one of my missions because at first I wasn't going to record it all, and a lot of my friends said, "Oh, you got to put this on, you know, you got to
Yeah.
do this." They said you need an audio book, so I need more than an audio book. I love
Hmm.
music, so I want the music in the background because it enhances what I do, you know,
Yeah,
and so
absolutely.
the music makes it go. So I love that part of it, and so I'm working. I've got um, a few artists that I'm working with because
Hmm.
there's a lot of things I want to do once I go back. Because I've been to the studio, I've recorded the audio book already. I'm not going to
Okay.
release that because I want to release the actual um, one with like an EP, but more than an EP because it's got to have. I got to have music. I got to have that.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's one of my
Awesome.
missions. Yeah. So I believe that I'm about to complete all my missions. Um,
So what do you do after? What do you do after you meet all these goals? You've gotten your 50 books, you are your poet laureates, you're recording. What's next?
well,
Like what comes after that? Because I think for a lot of poets, we don't know what to do once we reach goals. Like so we say, oh, I want to do this, 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 and then we grind, grind, grind until we achieve. And then afterwards it's like, oh, do you continue doing the poetry? Or do you move on to something new?
well, last year I became the first California poet teacher in my county.
Wow.
So now, and it's always been my mission to start young and bring them
Mhm.
into the fold where it continues to grow. I know in my county they said, "Oh, we want spoken word." And I said, I want poets. And so, and from that, you can get some spoken word artists, but
Mhm.
it's definitely, I'm teaching. So that's a great thing. I love that. And with the young souls, it gives you, it, they're going to have opportunity to grow a lot faster than I did, because they're going to have someone that's just teaching them. It's not like you just do it in your class and one day they say, the teacher says, oh, we're writing poetry today. And they teach them one day or 2 days and then that's it.
Mhm.
It's just something you can do every day. Like I ask people, if you journal, you could be a poet.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now you mentioned that they said they wanted spoken word artists, and you said you wanted poets. What do you think is the distinction? What's the difference?
A spoken word artist he's an entertainer or she's an entertainer, and they're going to entertain you, and it's going to be they're going to hit you with metaphors, a lot of similes, and double entendres and stuff like that. Things that I had to learn because I didn't know what they were, but I was writing. And I was already writing metaphors and didn't even know it, So that's when you
Hmm.
first start. And then because when I was in high school, my English teacher didn't like my poetry, so they kind of turned me off because it was like I'm not doing Shakespeare. So when I go to workshops and sometimes they say, "Oh, you need to write this, you need to write that," I'm like, "That's dead poetry to me. Let me do my own thing, have my
Hmm.
own style, create my own style." As a poet, you can create your own style. Spoken word artists, a lot of them try to mimic each other because they see that that's what gets them the finger snaps and all those other things. I'm not looking
Okay.
for finger snaps. I'm looking to educate you through poetry and make you think about what you just heard. And we know spoken word artists, they do the same thing. It's a beautiful art. It's like R&B or to rap. So R&B is like more poetry. Rap is more like spoken word.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Smooth. So would you consider yourself a poet or a spoken word artist?
That's another thing because all my friends say, "Oh, you're a spoken word artist." I said, "Just because I get on the mic doesn't make me a spoken word artist." And then when I'm reciting my poetry to get the, like if you've done open mics in the past and they tell you you have two poems of 5 minutes or 3 minutes or something like that. So my poems are average 40 30 40 seconds. So that means I got to put a bunch of poems together. That makes me an entertainer, but it also can make me a spoken word artist because I'm putting these poems together to tell you a story. But if I just do
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
short poem, I want to give you thought. I want you to think about it, and I could do that piece, and then you're gonna hunger for more. A lot of people say, "Oh, I thought there would be more." I'm like, there is more, but it's a whole nother poem that I put with that poem
Mm,
to make it go even further.
mm. Okay. So, what is it like being the poet laureate in your community, and how does that show up for you?
It opens up doors in
Mm.
some parts, and then they're surprised. Even in my travels in California, when I say that I'm the poet laureate of Kern County, there's a lot of buzz because that's not supposed to happen. Because
What do you mean?
because they didn't expect a Black Poet Laureate from Kern County.
Ah, okay. So I don't
Yeah.
know a lot about California. I thought it was like the diversity place.
Well, I mean, Los Angeles is, but,
Uh-huh.
but not Kern County. I mean, there are places,
But not Kern County.
not Kern County. No, it's a whole different world. So
Wow, okay, okay.
they didn't expect that. They didn't expect to hear what they heard from me when they elected me because all they ever heard me do before I became poet laureate was I only did the love poems. I didn't do any life moments that
Mm,
from Dark Man Blues. Even though Dark Man Blues was out there, I may have done a few poems, but not a lot because it was mostly when I'm out entertaining. It's to a room full of ladies because ladies support poetry more than anybody
they
else.
do.
So
Hmm.
I'm going to give them what they want, and I'm going to say something beautiful. That's another thing I know. Say something beautiful all the time, and to give them thought. It's just like, for instance, I mailed a book to a young lady, and well, she's my age, and then she her mother got a hold of it. She was 80, and the mother didn't want to give her the book back. So
Oh wow.
the mother and I became friends. I said, introduce me to your mother, and she did. And so I said, I'm writing this new book, and I said I'll share every poem with you when I'm writing these poems. So I completed the book in 7 weeks, and in that 7 week period, I recited every poem in that book to her. She loved it. Now, the good thing about it, I didn't even know that the mother was going through dementia. And they said that my reciting poetry to her helped her out and she wasn't giving them the blues. So that part was real cool. And we became friends. I dedicated the book with
Mm.
her. It was called Love and the Conversation. And it's a great book. It's one of the hottest books. I mean, because it also got another poet, young man from North Carolina, Charlotte, got that book, and he said he reached out to me. And says, I want to write a book with you." I said, "Okay, I'll give you a shot." And he told me why he wanted to write a book with me, and so I said, "Okay, we'll do it." And we wrote that book. His name is Josh Smalls out of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Hello, Ja.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and the book is called Love Is, and it's available on
Okay.
Amazon. And we wrote that book because he wanted to write one-page poems that will move you.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, so that when you turn the page, you're reading another poem, not the same one, but it gives you want to turn the page because that poem was so good. You're like, I don't think they could do it again. And you turn the page, and there it is. It's another love poem, and it's all love poems.
Oh man, I don't write love poems.
A lot of people,
It's
a lot
it
of people
might
don't write love poems. You know.
a lot a lot of my poetry friends, they always tease me because I want to say I have two. I've written two. One, both of course from my husband. Um, but yeah, that was always my thing is that I don't write love poems. That was the thing from when I first started doing poetry at 19 years old. Um, said I was not going to write love poems. So yeah, I've written two, no, three love
But,
poems.
but I didn't actually start writing love poems until 2004. So prior to that, in the 70s, late 70s and 80s, I was a militant. All I was writing was like, we're gonna get this work done, and this is what y'all have done, and I don't like you and stuff like that. I'm like, they didn't want that guy coming back, but he's back now. So that's
Okay,
dark man blues, you know. So it's like the next Dark Man Blues book was two of them coming out in April,
okay.
and one is a special because it's not a part of this series, but it is called Dark Man Blues Uncensored.
Oh,
And that's the one that I'm going to say the things that the editor said I couldn't say, and they wanted me to take it out. I'm no longer taking anything out. It's in it. You can
oh,
read it, and that's the way it is. And if they
mm,
censor me, that means I could get famous because then now they're talking about me. So
oh,
let them
right.
talk about me. So we're gonna be
Yeah, let them
uncensored.
talk.
We're
I
gonna be
love that.
uncensored. Yep. And so I'm actually writing that book now. So every 4 months, I'm gonna put out two books. So so I'm writing these first 3 months gives me 100 poems because it's 100 days in the first 3 months. Plus,
Mm-hmm.
plus because I'm so far ahead of the game because I write every day. I've already written bonus poems for this book. So this book I thought was going to be like 150 pages. It may be closer to 200 pages
Wow.
because now I'm also writing poems that are 2 and 3 pages long because I got to tell it. So let me
Mm-hmm.
tell it like that, and then there'll be some one-page poems too that I could put into, and then I still go to workshops. There are some workshops that still move me,
Mm.
and some I listen to that they don't move me. So then I just listen, and I'm like, okay, well, we're not doing that. No, no. Mm-mm. And then some that do move me, and then I write a poem because the prompt is good. It doesn't have to
Mm-hmm.
necessarily be a prompt of words or whatever. It could be pictures or whatever. As long as if the prompt can move me, then I'm gonna write to
Mm.
it. If it doesn't move me, then no. Then let me go and I could think of countless things I could write about.
I like that.
Yeah.
Ah, wow. You know, I just, I want to be like you when I grow up.
You
I
already
sure
like
like.
me.
I'm 50 books, boy. I thought I was doing good with like seven. Um, so 50 books is
Well, I
that's a lot.
published 25 of those, and I have the other ones that are sitting on the shelf. That's why I can put out two books every 4 months because I have four books that are already completely done. Now, the fresh stuff is going to be a part of that new series type thing from Darkman Blues Uncensored that I'm going to put
Hmm.
out those four books. The last one will be put out in January of 27. And
Okay. I'm
so
just
everything
gonna
is
try and do. I'm
so
gonna try and do one
no, well, yeah,
by
but I mean,
August.
when you have other things to do, uh, and now I have to really thank my children because when I was writing, and they saw me writing or practicing, they didn't bother me. But as long as I had dinner on time, and, and they had the
That's all
internet,
kids care about, anyways, is the
yeah,
food.
it was
That's
cool.
what I'm
It was
learning.
cool.
As,
Yeah.
as my kids get older, they're teenagers. All they care about is there food in the refrigerator,
Yeah. Yeah. So,
and they're good.
yeah. So that
No,
was
my
it.
thing is of course work. You know, you have your 8 to 5 or whatever, but I'm also working on a PhD right now. So
Yeah.
I'm writing a novel in verse. And so that's what I'm working on, but it's also a part of my dissertation. So I'm trying to push that off so that the time that I have dedicated for my dissertation, which is a full year, it can be solely spent on me writing that book.
Yeah.
Um, and so I wrote the first chapter of it and sent it to my advisor and everything, and he loves it. He's like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be the best book. But see, my point of view is a little different. I'm a mathematician, so I love math. I'm a math teacher by trade. So I teach math and I teach math to math teachers, and I realized that
Yeah.
very rarely is a math teacher allowed to bring creativity into the classroom because they see it as such a it's seen as such a concrete subject matter. And so what I'm doing is my novel will teach math through the story.
Okay.
And so, yeah, so I'm gonna dig deep into all of my creativity to get there, and then do a ton of research to kind of support it. So that's where I'm at right now. That's why I'm just not pumping out poems. Uh, I do commission poems, and that's what I wanted to ask you while you were talking. I thought about that.
I
Like, do
like
you
that
do
too.
commission poems?
Yes, I do. And I make it worthwhile. I've only done, well, last year I only did one, but it was for
Mm-hmm.
International Peace Day. So when I did my first draft, I'm like, oh, I needed more. So I did a second draft, and the second draft became the first part of the poem. And then,
Gotcha.
and I was on tour at the time because I had to fly back to LA to get to my city to recite it on the International Peace Day itself, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
it kind of broke up my tour, and then from there, then I went back out on tour again, where I'm featuring at different locations in California, and that's the thing. So I don't do a lot of open mics, hardly any. I think,
Right.
um, and so it's like if I'm not the feature, then if I go to an open mic, I'm just going to be in the audience. I'm not going to perform a poem or anything like that. I just want to hear poetry.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I could do that at home from the comforts of all the shows that are on social media, from TikTok to Clubhouse to, I don't have to go out to do poetry at all. I could just listen to it. And if I don't like it, I could cut it off. I didn't spend any money, just a few minutes of my time, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I got on Clubhouse for a little while. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Um, haven't been doing that as much lately, like I said.
But see, on Clubhouse, you're
Like
definitely
you,
going to
I
hear, on Clubhouse, you're going to hear a lot of spoken word artists on Clubhouse.
yeah, because all you can do is hear,
Yeah.
and
And,
just
and what I want
so.
is I want to hear poets. I want to hear poets spit their pieces, you know.
Mm,
And then from there, that's my challenge. So I challenge myself in when I'm writing every day and what's going to be different about it. And I may feel something like I went to a workshop and I wrote the poem. One of the poems I'm going to recite tonight came from a workshop,
mm,
and it was just right about. how you see your life at this particular moment. That was a
Hmm.
prompt. And so, and all the things that are around you, what's going on around you, what does that bring to you? So I did that in 67 words.
67 words. Okay. So
Yeah.
you like brevity. Do you like haikus?
I like haikus. I tell people that every poem you write has a haiku in it. You just have to find it. Okay.
I
So
like that. I like it.
yeah. So and then so I don't write them pretty much like no. It's something that occasionally I will do. And my dear friend Kim B. Miller is the queen of
Yes, Kim
haikus.
B.
And when
She
I'm like,
is. We had her on last month.
I enjoyed that show. I did because it spoke to this similar situation. I spoke to her about it because a few days after she did the show, I got one of those invitations to do something because it was Black History Month. No, but you want me to do it for free because it's Black History Month. No, we're not doing that. And you
Mm.
can do that without,
Where's my check?
yeah. I'm like, is there
Absolutely. Where's my check?
that goes along with this? It's not like, not that I'm against it, but Black History is every day. And
Should be.
I
Hmm.
remember there's a poem in my latest book that's titled "If Life Were a Movie." Now, I would tell you the thing about "If Life Were a Movie." I only printed 100 copies of that book. It will never be on
You
Amazon.
told me about this one.
Yes, it will never be on Amazon. It is a part of the Dark Man Blues series, and my mission. I'll grab a copy that I think that's going to show up better. Yeah, this is "If Life Were a Movie,"
Hmm.
and this right here is a limited edition. Only 100
Yeah.
copies. Only
Only
90 of them
100.
will be sold ever. When they're gone, they're gone. And no matter how long it takes me, there are only going to be 90 of these in the world. And people are buying them from different parts of the country and all over the world because I have to mail books overseas too. So when they're gone, they're gone. But it's a part of that
Okay.
series. And then so for the people, and I have to thank all the people who have bought every book in the series because they were the first
Mm.
ones. I mean, it's like when you get people to buy a book from you and it don't come out for 5 or 6 months and they already give you the money, they believe in you, and that's so
Oh,
cool.
absolutely.
So it's like
I love that.
some of the people that bought that book paid me for it months and months before it came out. I told them I was
Hmm.
writing it, and I had actually finished it, but I wanted to add some pictures to it as well.
Yeah.
And there were a few new poems that I actually put in because I actually wrote it Flight for a movie. I wrote it in 2019, so it was already done. It just needed a few more poems, and I added those poems to it, and that was it.
Like for a movie.
Flight for
Okay.
a movie. Yep. And actually, I promoted that book. I promoted it for a whole year.
Because there's only gonna be 100 copies.
Yeah, only 100 copies, and I used to carry around the um, the promotion thing that I created. It's really big. It's like 18 by 24
Hmm.
and it has something on it. And when I recite that, what it has on it, and then I tell them, and that's the table of contents, they'd be like, they thought that was a poem. I'm like, okay, so I have to challenge myself because I write so much. So in writing that
Hmm.
project, I wrote the table of contents and then I wrote the book.
Okay.
Yeah. So the table of
I like
contents,
that.
yeah, the table of contents was first, and then each title that was there became a poem, and then that's how I wrote
Mm.
the book. So the first title is "If Life Were a Movie," so I wrote "If Life Were a Movie." The next word was thoughts and conjecture, so I had to write thoughts and conjecture. So then and then you look these words up to see what they mean, and so then you can write a poem about that, and then
About
so I
that.
did all
Okay.
that. Yeah.
I like that. I like that challenging yourself. Okay. Well, now we need to hear some poems. We've heard all about these books and 50 books and poems on top of poems. So we're ready.
Okay, so this is a workshop poem from last Sunday, and the title that I gave it is What It Looks Like. It was a moment that silence would be a better weapon. I so wanted to speak. The outside noise had overshadowed my thoughts. So many wannabes like flies at a picnic. Everybody wanted some. I had to focus. This would be my chance to put myself above all the distractions, my mind open to the present danger. This is what America looks like, feeding on itself. And that's that poem.
Wow. So you like to leave people wanting more at the end of the
Yes,
piece.
that is the
Got it.
mission. That is the mission. I want them to, it's like, well, where's the rest of it? It's in your head, it's in your mind. Because what I just
Hmm.
said, you could take so many thoughts from what I just said. Well, what is he talking about? Because I think I know this, and so, and then that's what I do. So when I put poems together, then I'm going to tell a whole different story.
Mm.
So, I mean,
You got more? You got more? Give us some more.
okay, so here's something that's put together. Um, let's see how it flows. Has my life become a number, or has it always been placed in a system I was never meant to be? The name slave, does it hold future intentions? Can you tell me where are the flowers? So many ships filled with black gold, many destinations. This is now my home. I am not free. Who gave them permission to play God? Was it their religion? Was it something in a book they didn't write? They gave them permission to rule over my life? What more can you tell me? After freedom, I struggled. Birthed in a land far from my heart, no longer native son, my soul dimmed into dark places, mapped bodies chained across seas. Death be my struggle, nightmares, my dreams. I see home when the next ship comes. Welcome to Jamestown. Now, present day, I'm in need of a price check to see where the value of my life is set. Noticing how I'm viewed these days, it was time to reevaluate, being the underlying truth had problems, some misunderstanding of what's really going down, lies and confusion, the environment flowing the content, having misinterpreted intentions. No longer will you benefit from my not knowing. How much is that gorilla in the window? And that's more.
Wow. So now how many pieces did you link together?
Three,
Wow. Okay.
three. And I missed one because it was supposed to start with a poem that I wrote. I actually wrote this poem back in 2014, and it was called Third World. I changed the name, and then I put this poem in the next book that's coming out, which is titled Voices Without Names. That's another book that's coming out in April. So I have those two books. So in Voices Without Names, I did a poem and it was called Third World. I changed it to Voices, and it goes like, I love LA, not this LA. The city of freeway mansions graffitied by overpass views. The sun, another day of hell in these streets. The city of homeless, no one gives a damn. Dehumanized, just a drive-by priced out for SoFi in the menu. Ice is on the menu. Night creatures sidewalk living. Can you feed me? Death be the smell they given. 40 years of show me the money. Trying to survive in the city of angels. Now devils ruled by demons in blue.
Mm.
Can you see the voices? And then I would go back into, has my life become a number, or has it always been placed in the system? And I put all those poems together to tell a little story.
Wow. That definitely tells a story.
Yeah.
So if we read your book from cover to cover, does it flow like a story or does it just flow or is it just like one poem will go to the next poem?
Yeah,
So,
it's going to be one poem going to the next poem because
okay.
like I'm writing and then I find these poems that I think they go together, and then I could put them together if I could do that without losing. the effect they want to, just find something that's going to make
I
this
got you.
go on, So yeah, so it's not like I could write a poem and then come back and write the same thing. I do have a poem that's in Life or a Movie. The poem is called Repeat Me, and Repeat
Mm-hmm.
Me was a 3-page poem, but I put a title on each page, but each title on the other 2 pages is a transitional word that takes you right into the poem.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so people, when they get that,
So
they're gonna think
that's
they're
like
reading.
a short story.
Yeah, they're gonna think they're reading 3 different poems, but it's actually one poem that just the title. If you read it straight through, the title is gonna take you right into the next poem.
I love it. Love
Yeah.
that.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, now let's see. Um, Tell me a little bit about uh Divinity Books.
Innate Divinity Books was created with the young man that I convinced him to write his first book. And what I did was I gave him the book, Dark Man Blues, and he edited the other side. So I said that I want to start a publishing company and I want you to come along with me and you can be the editor of this company and I'm going to give you business. So I had a lot of clients that I would just give to this editor and he would edit and format their books. Of course,
Oh, okay.
he was doing my books as well. So that means that gave me, that's another lesson that I learned. I learned how to edit and format to make that book, to paint the words on the page. So they're just not words on a page, there's art on the page. So, because our
Love
words
it.
are art, so can you paint these words on this paper? And he did that. And so his name is Eric Devon. He's the co-founder of NA Divinity Books. We do counseling and stuff like that. We'll tell you your best avenue based on where your financial status is. Can you afford these things that you need to have done to your book to make it a success? Can you promote your book and make it a success? It's like I tell authors, I said, you don't want to be trying to sell your books to a room full of poets. You're going to have to get out and not just in your
Yeah.
city. You got to get out everywhere. I mean, um, when I did my first book, I actually put out 4 books in 1 year from the Passions Private Collection. And when I did my first tour, I shipped 100 books to the East Coast. I came back with none. So
Wow.
that was an amazing. So I didn't depend on the local community to buy my books. I knew that traveling helped sell my books, and then being
Mm,
on social media. I used to be on Blog Talk Radio. I don't know if you know about Blog Talk Radio.
I do not.
Okay, and you can ask Kim, and she'll tell you about Blog Talk Radio. I mean, that's how I met Kim, was on Blog Talk Radio. Uh,
Blog Talk
yes,
Radio. Okay.
radio. Yes, and it wasn't an app. It was just you use your phone and you call into a number, and then you get into the queue, and then you spit your poetry. But it got my name out there all over the country, So that helped. And so I wasn't just a local poet. I became a poet that was known. That was one of the questions they asked me. They said, "Why are you here?" I said, "To get my name out there." They said, "If you keep doing poems like this, you're gonna get your name out there for sure." And that's when I was only doing love
Mm,
poems. When I would say, "If I were making love, you would be the only recipe I need." When like that was one of my dopest lines. And then I even did poetry where that got me parts in
making
movies,
love.
that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so you never know. You're gonna say something, and you could do your research because it may have been said before, but not quite the way that you're saying it. You know,
Right. Yeah.
and so it's like there's so much out there. I mean, there are millions of writers that we've never heard because they're not sharing, and they could be some of the dopest poets on the planet. You know,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So for the young poets, I know you mentor young poets and you teach. But for a young poet that stumbles across this video while they are scrolling through YouTube, um, what wisdom do you have to share with them and to also just inspire our community of supporters and other Black Poet Laureates?
Believe in yourself
Mm,
because no one else will. Something I picked up from a movie. You have to believe in yourself. You have to challenge yourself. You're going to have the outside challenges, but none of them are going to be as compelling as you challenging yourself to accomplish your goals.
Oh
Set a
yeah.
mission, make it happen. Be different than everybody else. Don't fall into the trap of giving people what they want to hear. Give them what you want to tell them.
It's good.
Yeah. And so if you do that, and if you could write every day, you're going to discover. I tell people you need to free your emotions. Once you free your emotions, then you could write anything. It's when you put yourself, behind the eight ball and say, "Oh, I can't say that." No, say it. Let other people say no. I'm not going to tell myself no. It was like, okay, so no, some things I won't do. There's certain words I won't say in my poetry. I
Mm,
won't. It's like for a while, it's like even creating Dark Man Blues. When I researched it to see if anybody owned it, no one owned it. So guess what? It's mine now. And so,
yeah.
and I know you heard it. It's one of the things that was so big. It was out. They were saying, "Oh, black girl magic." I'm like,
I hate that.
yeah, but she's not
That's it.
black. So I wrote the poem Dark Girl Magic. And it's a whole
Um,
different animal than saying I'm black. And so it's one thing that I said that those are one of the names that they gave us, along with the other names that they
mhm.
gave us. And I write that in my poetry too. I'm gonna tell it. I'm not using it. And so uh, I think I may have used the word black to describe us as a people just because it went with the poem that I had to do what I was writing to tell them that none of these are me.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So that was that. So
That's really good information.
yeah.
All right then. Well, we are getting ready to go, but we cannot leave without you sharing just a little bit more of your poetry. So if you would give us just a little bit more.
Okay. For all the lovers out there, I want to flow through her like mountain rivers, leaving oceans of dreams. Like rain, I am the cradle to her life. I want to be the poem she reads and then breathe the sounds of her. It's been a while since I've tasted beautiful. Arousing earth tones, she be black coffee in my mornings. Her essence flows through me. I tell her she's that preview to my pain. We love hard. Have you ever felt black rain? I could never let her go. She tells me the same when she says, I'm your fiend, dark man. She's off the chain. Called me the Mackin game. I'm just hungry for her love. I show her we all flow differently. Some of us flow rhymes and call it therapy. And she said my words have weight, so I took out my pen like she asked me. She said, write into me and make it nasty. Now she knows I would read her. It felt good discovering myself, true story, this past forgotten, these ancient memories feeding my soul. I wanted more, and she was giving, inviting me like home. She shared her emotions, leaving echoes on wall paintings. I spoke her name. She's dark girl magic. It wasn't her appearance I fell into, thinking this what makes me. She was that dare I needed, I had to. She spoke her mind, and I don't mind. The inner beauty moves me. I could taste her hunger. After all, she's temptation. If only she knew, dark girl, I'll be loving you with all of my senses. Not just the five they mentioned, my 360 coming in dimensions, encompassing. If I were making love, I would inhale the scent of you like the sheets do. Take your breath away like a silent movie to be deeper into you. You sing it to me and I come alive. As the fire in your body engulfs the depth of my soul, I feel you like music. Thank you.
Well, for all the lovers out there, you can find Samuel, tell us where can we follow you on social media, website, all of that good stuff.
Okay, on social media, I'm under Samuel Rain on Facebook, on Clubhouse, and Instagram. I'm under Complicated underscore Passions. Uh, my website is coming back because since I'm going to be introducing more Darkman Blues, it would be darkmanblues.com. I had taken it down for a year or two, so it's coming back because I still own the domain rights to that. I'm not selling them. I pay for it even though it's not visible for the world to see, but it belongs to me. So it is definitely coming back because Darkman Blues is here to stay.
I love that. Absolutely. And then you have new books coming out in
Yes.
April.
Yes.
And will you be featured in volume two of In Fullness of the Word, sir?
Well, if that's an anthology that we're doing.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna be all up in that book. I'm just waiting to let me do my input as far as helping with, I guess, formatting and that kind of thing like that. Make sure that the print size is good for people my age because I need to at least have 12 so I can see it. You know,
Oh, absolutely.
and
Yeah.
that kind of thing
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, no, I definitely want to. I'm definitely going to sign up for all of that. You know, I'm going to also keep up my membership as a Black Poet Laureate forever, forever. You know, so that's something that I will be following. I encourage all those who want to be a part of that. You know, and I think well, you have to be a Black Poet Laureate to be on the site, but just follow and learn, and we should be teaching more. We should have more poets out there.
Yes, we definitely need more. So, please, 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 you can donate or you can just follow and support all of the work that we are doing. If you have not already ordered your copy of In Fullness of the Word, Volume 1, it is available on Amazon. So please do that. Samuel, thank you so, so much
Thank
for
you for
being
having
a
me.
part of this episode of First Sundays with Black Poet Laureates. It has definitely been enriching and challenging for me because I tell you what, writing that many books and that many poems is you should be commended.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Well,
All right, everybody. You've been listening to First Sunday with Black Poet Laureates. And to learn more about Samuel Rains, please follow him on social media. We'll have the links to their books and upcoming readings and social media in the show notes. The National Black Poet Laureate Society is going to be launching our website fully in 2026. And then you'll be able to explore our directory of Black Poet Laureates and learn about our upcoming conference. And you can pre order volume two for all those people who are just chomping at the bit to get their next volume. It is going to be, pre orders will be available starting in April. So visit us at blackpoetlaureates.com, and you can follow us on Facebook, Black Poet Laureates. It's that simple. If you enjoyed this conversation, please subscribe, leave a review, share this episode with all of your fellow poetry lovers, and join us on the next first Sunday of every month as we continue to celebrate the brilliance of Black Poet Laureates across the nation. Until next time, keep the words flowing and the legacy growing. I'll see you guys next month.
thank you.